The United States of America struck Iran. This happened last night. There are a lot of people happy, there are a lot of people mad. But we should always refer back to what the Bible says. Solomon, who's credited with writing Ecclesiastes, he notated that there's a time for love and a time to hate, a time for war and a time for peace. Just because you go to war sometimes, or you fight sometimes, it doesn't mean that's what you want to do. Nevertheless, you do what you have to do to maintain peace. Blessed are the peacemakers. And there are times whenever peace is threatened, you have to go to war to stop it. Iran could not have a nuclear weapon. When you read end-time Islamic eschatology, which many Christians are not aware of this, but they teach that the hour will not be established until you fight with the Jews, and the stone behind which a Jew is hiding will say, "O Muslim, there is a Jew hiding behind me, unalive him." And many Muslims have deceived Christians. You may ask how? Because in Islam, as you know, they believe a version of Jesus, which is a fake Jesus, but they believe in a version of Jesus. They tell Christians, we believe he was born of a virgin. We believe he's Messiah. We believe he did miracles. We believe in a second coming. So you hear Christians say, oh, the Muslims believe more than the Jews. They believe in Jesus. They don't believe he was crucified nor resurrected. And what they don't tell you is when he comes back that he's going to break the cross and kill the swine according to them. Essentially eliminate Christians and Jews and tell Christians that we were wrong for believing that he was crucified. This is where it gets intriguing. In Islam, that would be parallel with the biblical false prophet. But their leader, called the Mahdi, would be parallel with our Antichrist. They believe that their leader establishes a political military rule, that he'll be ruling for around 7 years. Sound familiar? He rides in on a white horse. I've heard some Islamic scholars notate, which you know Revelation 6, the Antichrist rides in on a white horse. There's so many parallels with the biblical Antichrist. But now let me tell you this. You ever hear a Christian say, the Jewish Messiah is the Antichrist? And I'm reading from the Amplified. The Jewish Messiah is literally Jesus. And when he comes back, he's going to rule from Jerusalem. He will judge between the nations and will meditate disputes from many people. And they will beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation will not lift up their sword against nation, and never again will they learn war. This is when Jesus is ruling and reigning. Jesus is the Jewish Messiah, who they're going to find out is the Messiah. But Muslims teach that the Jewish Messiah is their Antichrist. They call him Dajjal. They say that he will claim to be God. He will claim to be Lord. He will resurrect the dead, do miracles and all that. So they're posturing people when they see him to call him Dajjal or the Antichrist. About 70% of what they say about their version of the Antichrist matches biblical Jewish Messiah Jesus. Iran, inspired by this, teach kids in their schools to destroy America. That's why they can't have one. Follow for more. Deadline's about a week away. If you struggle with understanding what God has called you to, I'm sending out a 3-day class on this subject. Click the link in my story or bio to sign up.